So one of my coaching clients the other day asked me about marriage, okay? And he was saying that, Rich from Entrepreneurs and Cars has a very negative view on marriage. He says only a fool gets married. And there's a few other guys, that have a lot of information out there citing the statistics of divorce and how, family law is set up against men and how men get screwed, custody problems, all kinds of things, and misery that men go through because of marriage. And while I don't agree with the idea of throwing out marriage, I do agree with a lot of the problems and a lot of the statistics out there. However, that doesn't mean that you as a man can't get married, and it doesn't mean that it's not beneficial to you. Let me break this down a little bit here. Now, the reason why I'm making this video is because, I think it's really important. I think a lot of guys don't understand, I'll put it this way. I think a lot of you guys, you might be confused. You might be like, well, I kind of do want to settle down and find the love of my life and get married, but if everyone thinks that this is dumb, that this is a bad idea, then I probably shouldn't do this, right? So so I want to kind of clear this up so that you have a better educated opinion on this, and you can make a decision for yourself, right? So first of all, here's the thing to know, is that what most of these guys are saying about marriage and about how it just usually doesn't end well for a guy, and it's a dangerous thing to get into. It can really cost you dearly. I think that is very true, and I think it's very likely if you don't get the education that I'm about to give you, okay? And I'm not gonna be able to give it all to you in this video, all right? That's why I'm putting together some relationship coaching. We won't talk about that now, but anyway, the point is this. Look, if you just come into this not knowing anything, just being a dumb guy, just falling in love, whatever, yeah, you're probably going to get put through the ringer. You're probably going to get run over and screwed over. And it's not going to be necessarily malicious. It's just going to be that your own naivety causes you problems, right? So first of all, you won't have the respect that you need in the relationship that's necessary. And then second of all, what's likely to happen is that you're not going to really know how to be a man in a relationship and how to treat a woman in such a way that she stays in love with you. And so you're likely to end up getting into a divorce and having all kinds of problems. Okay, so that's the truth. All right, now, with that said, let me tell you how you can avoid that and still get married. So first of all, the thing that I tell guys all the time, right? I've told you guys this before if you've watched my videos on this, is that when a woman wants to get into a committed relationship with you, right? When she wants to get commitment from you, and she should always be the one asking, then what you need to do, okay, is you need to have the captain of the ship talk. All right, I'll give you the brief version of it right now. But essentially, the way that it goes is that, look, I'm the captain of this ship, all right? I'm always going to be the captain of this ship, all right? Now, you can be on the ship if you want to be on the ship or not. That's totally fine. But if you want to be on the ship, you have to understand that I'm the captain. Now, I'm a good captain, okay? I will go down with the ship. I put my crew's needs first. I am the best captain that you'll ever have, but I will always be the captain of the ship. I don't share being the captain, okay? So you have to understand that. So again, I'm paraphrasing there. You can give the whole talk. Essentially you just want to talk about the idea that you are the captain of the ship, that she needs to fall in line and understand that you will be the leader in the relationship, right? With no question about it, right? Now, if she doesn't trust you enough to do that, that's a flag already. That means that she's not ready for a committed relationship with you, right? And maybe you're not, because you're not as trustworthy as a guy. You haven't demonstrated that to her, that she's willing to trust. Because a woman that really looks up to you and is really convinced that you can take care of her life better than she can, she will agree to that. She will agree to the captain of the ship. She will, it doesn't mean that you're moving in together or that you're getting married, but just if you're in a committed relationship, she's going to see you as the authority. That has to be it, right? If it doesn't start off that way, it's not going to end that way. It's not going to become that, and it's not good. So that's one of the key things, okay? And if you set that up from the beginning, and that's how your relationship is run from the beginning, you're going to have a lot less problems if you do get married, because it'll be the right order of things, where you'll be the man, okay? You'll be wearing the pants. Now, you might say, well, John, not a lot of women are going to accept that, right? You're going to filter them out. If a woman is not willing to accept that, she doesn't trust you enough for you to be the captain of the ship, then you are not going to get into a committed relationship with her. You can still date her casually, date other women, but a woman who wants commitment from you needs to be willing to be submissive to you. She needs to be willing to see you as the authority, to trust you in that regard, okay? Second thing that you're going to do at the same time is you're going to have a conversation about boundaries or rules for the relationship. And you're going to talk about, the 6 rules I said for the relationship. I'll just go over them real quickly here. Number 1 is that you have locations on at all times, so she knows your location, you know her location, okay? Number 2 is that she doesn't have guy friends. She's not hanging out with guy friends, okay? There's none of this, and no talking to her exes, none of that stuff, okay? And you don't do that either, obviously. Her Instagram, her social media is private. If you're in a committed relationship, that's private, right? Unless she's running a business, okay, a legitimate business. No girls night out, no guys night out, okay? You're not doing that kind of single person stuff. No girl strips, none of this kind of bullshit, okay? And you have access to each other's phones at the very least. Maybe email, but and that's basically it. And then if a guy messages her, obviously she needs to show you that kind of stuff. So anyway, you're going through that stuff, okay, to make it clear. And again, you might be like, whoa, this is kind of heavy conversations. What woman is going to accept these things? Look, if Leonardo DiCaprio or Henry Cavill or whatever, Jason Momoa, if one of these guys, this woman got into a relationship with, and he said these things, she would agree to all those things. She'd be like, oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm definitely not going to, yeah, you can have my location. I'm not going to, she's not going to say, oh, you're insecure or whatever bullshit, okay? So if she doesn't view you that way, then fuck her. Then that's done. Like get rid of her, okay? So, and you're not setting this unilaterally. You're creating rules to protect the relationship that you're going to abide by as well, okay? So, if you do those 2 things, when one asks for commitment, okay, you're going to be on the right track here. It's going to be really difficult for you to get into to progress with this relationship, okay, and to not have it end up going well, right? It's just, or it's going to end. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not going to get to marriage with those requirements in place, unless it's going to have a very high likelihood of being a very successful marriage, okay? Because you've already have those standards in place. You don't have to fight for those things, all right? The other thing that you're going to do is this, which is also critical, is that you're never going to tolerate any kind of disrespect from her, right? The same guy that was asking me this question, yeah, which great. He had some great questions. I mean, I wish more guys would ask these damn questions, but he's like, well, what do you do if a woman yells at you? Someone, I think he was talking about Casey Zander, and said, you just kind of laugh and like, oh, you're so cute when you're angry and all this kind of stuff. And I get it. I think that's an okay response. It's not bad, but I'll give you a better one. You set a boundary and you say, hey, I don't like that. She's like, what don't you like? I'm like, yeah, yelling at me, raising your voice to me, I don't like that, right? That's a very gentle boundary, okay? That should be enough. Like, when you say I don't like that, that should be all you need to say to a woman, okay? Now, she continues doing that, you leave, right? Now, you can also spell it out if you need to and say, look, hey, there's no, look, we can have a discussion, that's fine. We can talk about whatever you want. You can share your emotions, totally cool with that. However, never raise your voice at me. Do not yell at me. Not acceptable. Or do not call me names, or whatever it is. Whatever she's doing that's disrespectful, you can call it out and say, do not do this. Okay? Now, you got to be calm when you do this. Okay? And then she's got 2 choices. Either she's going to apologize and say, oh, sorry, I won't do that again. Okay, which she should, if she really takes you seriously, if she really thinks you're the man who has the balls, who will just walk right out of the fucking door, and she sees you as high value, which is going to be much more likely if you had that captain of the ship conversation already and have set the rules for the relationship. But okay, this could be even before then, before you even committed that this disrespect can happen. So either she's going to do that, or she's going to escalate things. She's going to get pissed off and call you baby or whatever, and insult you somehow, and you're just going to walk. Okay, look, and you might not think this is effective, but hey, you're going to do this every time that she does this. All right, and either what's going to happen is she's going to learn, and she's going to be like, all right, I'm not going to do this anymore. Or you're just going to end up not seeing her because you don't want to see her, because you're going to just be like, hey, like every time, that she does it, you're out of there, right? So it's just going to end the relationship. So either way, it's fine. You're never going to get to a point where a woman's actually yelling at you, possibly physically messing with you, like any of that stuff. It should never escalate to that. You should never allow that. It should never be something that's acceptable ever in a relationship. And if it never ever gets to that, it's pretty damn hard to get a divorce. Okay, it's pretty damn hard to get into huge fights and arguments, right? I'm not saying that you're not ever going to get into any arguments or anything like that, but they're going to be the respectful ones, not disrespectful ones. All right, to at least to a very high degree. Okay, so and let me give you kind of an example of this. All right, just an analogy here. So when my daughter was younger, all right, she used to throw fits in the restaurants, and she would do this because she knows that she can get away with it, right? So one day I told her, I was like, look, if you throw a fit in this restaurant, we're about to go out to eat, we will leave. I said, I don't care if we haven't eaten yet, I don't care whatever's going on, we're gonna leave. All right, so we get to the restaurant, she's being good, at some point she started throwing a fit, right? So this is right when the waiter's bringing the food. Okay, he's bringing the food out, she starts throwing a fit. So I leave the food on the table. I'm like, okay, let's go. I take the money, I pay for the check. We don't eat the food, we leave the restaurant right then. Do you think she ever threw a fit in a restaurant again? Hell no, she did not. Let me tell you why. Because she knew I was serious and I followed through on my actions. Look, a lot of women don't believe you. They don't think you're serious. They think you're full of shit, man. They don't trust. You keep on giving them ultimatums, and you keep on saying, giving them threats and all this stupid shit. All right? Stop it. Instead, you let your word be your word, right? If she crosses the line, you just walk right out of there. She needs to know that you're ready to walk at any time if she's going to be disrespectful, because it's never acceptable. You're just never going to tolerate that, okay? So if you're following these things, all right, at a base level, it's going to be really hard for you to not have a successful marriage, right? Like, the risk is going to be reduced dramatically. Now, the other thing I would say about this also is that you need to know how to treat a woman. Obviously, if a woman is complying to these things, she's not disrespecting you, she's agreeing to those rules, she's got you as the head of the house, of the captain of the ship, all right? You need to treat her like absolute fucking gold, right? That means that you need to validate her emotions. I won't go into the details of that. I've talked about this on other videos, you can see, but you need to treat her like a princess, okay? Not a queen, like a princess, all right? There's a difference. And you need to pamper her, make her feel special, more love than anyone has ever made her feel, okay? You got to do those things. If you're doing that, things are going to work out. Even if you're just doing that, even if you didn't do the other stuff, I would do the other stuff that I just told you about, but if you just understand how to treat a woman properly, and you have a backbone, okay? You do have to have the backbone. It's not being a nice guy, all right? If you understand that's going to dramatically change your relationships. I promise you, because I know this. Or again, if you guys don't know, I was in a marriage for 20 years. I went through a divorce, okay? It didn't go like dramatically bad for me in the divorce. Obviously I still lost half of myself. It's not a good plan. It's not, I would definitely not wish divorce upon anyone in the world. And it was me who initiated it. So there's, a lot of complications behind that. But my point is this, is that, take it from me, I understand, I know the concerns, I know what can happen, all right? And I'm giving you this advice, telling you I'm remarried now, okay? I figured a lot of this shit out. It took me a while to figure this out. Now I got it figured out. Now I got it locked in. It's all good. Okay? And it is good. It is a good thing. Like, you know, there's nothing wrong with wanting to get married. I think it's great, right? You have to understand also that as a man, you got to take some risks. And I'm not going to be able to alleviate all risks of marriage for you. That's not possible. There's still going to be some risk involved in getting married, okay? But if it's a calculated risk, which if you're doing the things I'm telling you, it becomes a very calculated risk, then it can make sense. And here's the thing about it, as a man, yeah, you're taking a risk. Yeah, you're taking somewhat of the greater risk in terms of economic and, you know, family issues and all those things. But in your overall life, you're taking less of a risk. Because guess what? Let's say you get married in your 20s. All right, not a good idea, but okay, you do. So you get divorced in your 30s. You can start over. You can still marry a girl in her 20s. You can start over and have a brand new life. Okay? Even if you get divorced in your 40s. Even if that's your second divorce. Even if you get divorced in your 50s, you can still start over and have a brand new life and have kids and have a family and marry a woman that's in her 20s or 30s. Okay? A woman, however, if she gets a divorce, and I know that women initiate a lot of the divorces, so they must be in a really bad place, or they don't understand what's coming for them. Let's say that a woman gets a divorce in her 30s. Okay, she's just lost her golden years now, and she's got a kid in tow. So she's a single mom in her 30s. You think that her dating prospects are great? They're not, okay? Yeah, can she hook up with guys? For sure. Can she get a guy to commit to her and get into a relationship, start a family over, and all that stuff? Not as easy. It's very hard, especially she gets divorced in her 40s or, God forbid, her 50s. It's over. It's over. She got one shot at this, guys. You guys have more than one shot. Now, again, I would suggest that you just take one shot, if possible. But I know, speaking from experience, that I got divorced when I was about 40, 41, okay? I'm 43 now, almost 44. I was able to start over, all right? So, and I married a girl that was 27. All right, I guess 28. It's not, you know, or met a girl, you know, that I met that was 27. So I'm just saying that sometimes, you know, a lot of guys here on YouTube, they're going to give you advice and they're going to say all this stuff because it riles you up, because it's the kind of stuff that you're going to watch and you're like, you know, but you're absorbing the wrong kind of information and you're getting the wrong kind of attitude and mentality. That's kind of a defeatist attitude. Again, I'm all for caution. I'm all for being smart about doing things, right? I'm all for understanding the nature of women and understanding the risks involved in a lot of things in life, okay? However, I'm not for being a chicken. I'm not for completely avoiding risk at all costs, you know? It would be like the same thing if I said, hey, never start a business. Did you know that 90% of businesses fail in the first 5 years or first 3 years, whatever that statistic is? Yeah, it's a statistic. It's valid. Okay, that's fine. But does that mean you should never be an entrepreneur and never start a business? No. It means that you need to be careful. You need to weigh the risks. You need to make sure that that you're not just some Yahoo starting their business who's going to fail. That you've thought things out. You've got a plan. You got it. So it's the same thing here. Okay. Again, and if marriage is not for you, that's cool. That's fine. You don't have to get married. That's totally cool. But don't be so afraid of it that you let other people run your life instead of you running your life and making your decisions. Okay, it's not as bad as what people predict. And here's the thing: it is actually good. Okay, I wouldn't have gotten remarried, trust me, if I didn't want to. And believe me, my current wife, you know, Nicole, she did not pressure me to get married again. She did not ask me to get married again. Okay? She said, I don't care if we get married again. I will, if we get married, I will be with you because I just want to be with you. Which also is what influenced me to say, yeah, I want to give her, you know, her life, her dream. Like, I want to make her feel like she's valued to that degree. So that's why, you know, I got married again. It wasn't due to any kind of pressure, you know. So I hope this helps you guys with understanding, you know, this question, because it is a difficult one. But yeah, just don't be too jaded by this stuff. Again, you know, if you don't want to get married, that's totally cool. But you know, think about these things, and even if you don't get married, the advice I just gave you about being able to be in a relationship that's sustainable, still apply that. You don't have to be married to apply that. Still, the respect thing, still the captain of the ship thing, all of this stuff, you need to still apply that and have the rules for the relationship. Okay? If you do that, you're going to just be more successful. In general, you're going to avoid heartache.